Okay. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy lunch and learn. Thanks for being here
Woo!
with us. In the essence of saving time, because we know that your lunch hour is precious, we're going to get right into it. So hello, I am Susie Tarrant. I'm the Director of Operations and Client Success at Marketing Copilot. I'm also the resident marketing automation expert, hence me doing this lunch and learn today. Um, you can't really be certified on very many marketing automation softwares. Some of them allow you to do it. I am going to, for all intents and purposes, say I'm certified on multiple different marketing automation softwares, given my experience implementing, transitioning, upgrading many people through many different marketing automation journeys. And really, when I implement, my focus is largely on a strategy that turns leads into revenue and making sure everyone is set up correctly. Today is very fun because we did have to do a last minute pivot and we have Maddie Yule here.
Hello. Yes. Hi. My name is Maddie. I was on the last month's Lunch and Learn as well. If any of you were in attendance there, you might already know me. But for those of you who do not, my name is Maddie Yule. I'm the marketing manager at Marketing Copilot. And I'm also the executive producer of our podcast, Women Talk Tech, which is hosted by the president, the founder, the CEO of Marketing Copilot, Marie Weiss, also host of Women Talk Tech. I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of graphic design, and generally just work on a lot of creative stuff. On the Marketing Copilot side of things, I really focus primarily on our lead and demand gen strategy and execution and implementation. So we are very excited to be here to talk to you today. I'll go through our agenda very quickly and then we'll jump right into it. So I guess we didn't actually introduce the title, the topic of what we're talking about today, but we're talking about how to determine if you are ready for marketing automation. So really the things that you need to have in place before you actually get started on your implementation journey. So we're going to talk about the digital buyer in 2025 and sort of what the landscape looks like. We'll talk about the building blocks that you need to build a successful marketing sales funnel. And then Susie's going to talk about aligning sales and marketing, which I feel like is really the key piece that you need to have in place before you implement marketing automation. We'll touch on choosing the right marketing automation tool. And then we do have time for questions and answers at the end. Susie and I are going to try to wrap up our speaking time in about 30 minutes. And we'll leave some time at the end for any questions, but we do have the chat function open right now and we'll be looking at that. So if you have any questions throughout, you can drop it in the chat and we will address the questions throughout. And if we don't get to it, then we will get to it at the end. Okay. So the digital buyer in 2025, we're going to jump right in. So 3 compelling facts that we know about the landscape right now. We know that 83% of the buyer journey is happening online, and a lot of this is happening without the support of sales, and further is happening without us really being able to track and measure and attribute what the activities are that are going on there. So there is, in a sense, a lot of uncertainty about what is happening before you get an email address on a list or before someone reaches out to you to book a call or to book a demo. The other thing we know is that quantity doesn't always produce quality leads. So having a really large PPC spend, for example, and casting a really wide net to a large demographic of people isn't always, in most cases, is not going to convert to high quality leads that are actually going to end up closing and be, the right clients and the right buyers for you. And companies that lack a strong offer miss converting upwards of 20% of their web traffic. And actually, a couple months ago, we had someone who kind of came to us and was saying, I have this web traffic report, and it's looking like a lot of people are landing on my web page or on my homepage, but no one's really going further. I'm not actually seeing any of this converting. Like, I'm just not really sure what's going on here. So we did just a homepage kind of web audit for them and found that what they were missing and that key piece was having that strong offer if you land on the homepage of a website and knowing what to do next. And ideally what to do next is an offer that's going to garner an email address, garner a name on a list for you. And if you don't have that, you're having people land on your website because they're interested, or, you know, you're coming up in organic search, or they've met you at a conference, and then they're missing the offer. They're missing the next piece of, okay, now what do I do? And then they're leaving your website as soon as they get there. So that's a really important piece to the puzzle as well. Today, engaging the digital buyer, it's all about building trust. I think that that's been the case for a long time, but I would say especially so now in the past couple of years with the rise of AI and with a lot of sales sequences being really, really clearly automated. Like if you get an email or you get a LinkedIn message and you're like, no human was involved in this. So really actually building meaningful engagements with people today is really about building trust. And the keys to building trust is familiarity. So how strong is the recall of your company name in the community that you serve? And you can gain familiarity by hosting events, by partnering with people, by going out to, you know, industry events and conferences, trade shows. The next piece is value. So are you actually, you know, putting out high value content into the marketplace? And there's this idea that in order to get, you have to give a little bit. And so the give piece is putting in the work to create content, to create a high value offer that demonstrates your technical acumen in the marketplace, demonstrates your expertise, and gives people the content that is actually valuable to them and isn't just, you know, generic and like what everyone else is putting out there. The other thing is longevity. So how old and how stable is your web presence? And if you're a newer business, that's okay. But really working on, you know, building a cache or building an archive of content, whether it's blog posts or videos or webinars, that kind of demonstrates, in lieu of perhaps your longevity in the marketplace, but demonstrates your expertise. And then consistency. So are you really working at it over the long term? And I think a lot of times, you know, people will say, oh, I tried this and it didn't work, or, oh yeah, we're not going to do marketing automation because we, you know, sent in a workflow and nothing happened. And it's like, okay, well, you really have to work at it over time. Susie, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I really like this slide because even though it's kind of just setting the stage for what it is to be doing digital marketing or any executing of any marketing activities in 2025. And yeah, we'll play into it a little bit more.
Yeah,
as we dive in. Yeah.
Oops. Okay, so this is also a nice little graphic we have of sort of this idea of the new sales pyramid, and we're going to touch on certain pieces of this as well as we move through. But at the very base, you want to establish a really unique value proposition, and we're going to get to that. But there's a lot of things that go into the value proposition even before we get to that as being the base. So your social media, any PR that you're doing, you know, influencer marketing. When we talk about influencers, we're not just talking about influencers in the marketplace, but also who are the influencers within your own organization that can really be a voice and a face to your organization's name. One of the things I think we talk about a lot is that people want to buy from people, and that goes back to that trust piece. People want to buy from people, not necessarily from nameless or faceless brands. So identifying who those key influencers are within your own organization can really help to feed into this larger sales pyramid. And then, you know, we have SEO, we have blog content, and all of those things really serve as a good base to, you know, have a value proposition, have really good valuable content, and then be able to get people into a lead generation or nurturing campaign, qualified leads, and then actually start talking to people and pass the sales. So we've kind of set the stage of the pyramid. We're gonna flip it on its head. We're talking about a funnel, but we have to have a lot of building blocks in place. So we started to touch on them a little bit with that pyramid, but the four big things that we say that you really need to build a marketing sales funnel is, number one, a clear value proposition that creates curiosity. You want to have documented buyer personas. And that's going to really help to inform your content strategy and help you build a website that is going to speak directly to the people that you're actually trying to have a conversation with and trying to close sales with. And ultimately, do that exact thing, get revenue, close sales.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a quality offer. So we talked about that at the beginning, but really making sure that that's not a piece that you're missing. You want to make sure that you're giving people a place to go to learn more about you and to get in contact with you. And then the last piece is, it seems redundant. What does it take to build a marketing sales funnel? But it's understanding that it's not just like a one and done, set it and forget it thing. It's a process, it's a system, it's something you need to work at over time, because it does take time to nurture leads. It does take time to build trust and to qualify prospects. And so you have to make sure that you're understanding that this is a larger system that is constantly in motion. And then also that there should always be sort of an environment of testing around what you're doing with marketing sales funnel. So you want to make sure that you're, looking at reports, you're looking at the data, and you're adjusting and you're pivoting to, better move forward.
And just building off of that too, again, this is all setting the stage for a really well-performing marketing strategy. But even more so, these are all things that can be tied back and documented in your marketing automation software, should you be choosing the right software for your business.
Totally. Okay. So value proposition, I feel like we touch on this in every lunch and then in every webinar we have done. So if you've been on one before, you're going to be like, oh my God, we get it. But it is really important. So a value proposition is your company's compelling, precise articulation of why exactly someone should buy from you. And you want to be able to communicate that in a single, instantly credible sentence. So it goes beyond just saying, here are our services, here's what we do, or even this is the type of company that we are. You want to highlight that you understand what your buyers are going through and that you can address the problem and then do it in a way that is unique and communicates your unique value add that convinces them that, oh, this is the company, this is the solution that I should go with rather than your competitor. So again, we have a nice little graphic here. I won't go through this whole thing, but this is sort of to look at how we actually apply a value proposition from the point of view of a prospect. So at the very top of the funnel, you see, you have a new visitor landing on your website and you want to learn, or they want to learn what your company can offer. And that's why it's really important to have that very clear one sentence value proposition on the homepage of your website right when they land to understand, okay, I get what we're doing here. And then, they have more questions. They want to know, oh, have people gotten results? Is this a repeatable solution that they provide? How can they actually help me achieve something? And that's where you want to have additional pieces of content on your website, like a use case or a case study, customer testimonials, customer logos, things like that. Then you want to have that nice, good, attributable touch point, clear offer, something like a download where you're getting an email opt-in, somewhere where they're putting their information in, they're getting an email. Then you're bringing them over to the lead nurturing, and that's all happening, via email. And that's where an email marketing or a marketing automation tool is really important. It's going to help you out with this. Even when you're writing content for your email marketing, it still is really important that it all connects back to your value proposition, that once you have an email address and you're like, yes, got them in the door, you're not just forgetting everything else. It's really important that you're answering those questions and connecting back to, why does this company, why is your solution relevant to their situation? Why is it important? Why is it urgent? And why are you the best company to offer the solution to them? And then once you nurture them through, we're going to get into, they're going to actually raise their hand to opt in to learn more. And that's where you're going to get that inquiry phase, sales calls, booking a demo, one-on-one emails, and eventually getting them to sign on the dotted line to close the deal. Buyer personas are insights that guide a prospective buyer's thought process and decision-making when they're looking for a solution. So this goes beyond just demographics. It's not just an industry category. It's not just a vertical. It's not even just a job title. It's a really, really precise articulation of the problems, the pain points, the success factors, and the obstacles that your buyer is challenged with when making a purchasing decision. this is really important that it kind of goes alongside and is sort of has a symbiotic relationship with the development of your value proposition, because as you're developing your buyer personas, you're going to want to make sure that certain things are being very clearly highlighted in your value proposition, and then vice versa. When you do the work to identify and to document your buyer personas, it's going to save you time, because you'll be able to not be doing a bunch of guesswork about who I'm actually trying to speak to, who I'm trying to go after. Again, casting that wide net, you have a really clear idea of who you're going after, and then you can put that testing mentality towards content. So something that we like to do, I think we generally like to do this once a quarter, is do an A/B test on email workflows and understand, okay, what's working best for different buyer personas? Do they like long form content better? Do they like short form content better? Do they like emails that are really just bullet points and graphics and that's it? Or is someone wanting to take the time to read through, a more paragraph breakdown of the information we're trying to communicate to them? And then the same can be said for, social media, for video content versus blog content versus just straight up email. You're going to focus on the right conversion strategy, and it's going to make you money. And then you're going to advance your organization, because you're going to be getting better leads in the door that are more engaged, more likely to close. And then those leads that are more engaged in the buying process, Susie, let me know what you think, but I think that generally those leads will end up being the ones who achieve advocate status by being the ones to go out into the community and be like, oh, I have a great solution for this problem that I was also having, and they'll advocate for your business.
And that advocate too is kind of what we're talking about as far as influencer marketing. I realize sometimes people hear influencer marketing and think like B2C brand deals.
Yeah.
In B2B, when we say influencer marketing, we really mean those people who are going to be champions of your business.
Yeah. The other thing that defining your buyer personas will help illuminate, which is really important when we talk about this marketing automation piece, is buyer pain points. So understanding, the struggles, the issues, the things that they're bumping up against, buying triggers. So sort of, what is the straw that's breaking the camel's back and is causing them to be like, oh my God, I need a solution to this problem. Like I need to figure this out here. And then lead sourcing as well, which I know Susie's going to talk about a bit further. So where exactly are these leads coming from? Are they coming to you from referrals? Are they coming from organic search traffic? Are they coming from you're out at events and you're meeting people, social media, different things like that? So figuring out exactly where your leads are coming from based on, what's causing them to search for a solution, and then what those buyer pain points are. Mm-hmm. And I'll pass it over to Susie. I know I just feel like I talked so much, but Susie, please take it away.
But it's good, because what you were doing essentially is laying the foundation for the marketing strategy. And then once you have all of those pieces, it's so much easier to pick a marketing automation software.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go into even like more nitty-gritty details about some of the business needs and things that you need to talk about. But really once you have your marketing strategy based on those foundations and that conversion strategy, how do you execute it? Where do you execute it? Where do you track it? That's all going to be your marketing automation software. So as far as aligning sales and marketing goes, this part now is really about making sure that your business needs are documented before you go out and purchase marketing automation and before you go out and choose a tool. So really, many people think the definition of MQL and SQL is universal. It's not. The definition is very much unique to your business and your organization. And the way that you come up with your MQL and SQL definitions are by setting those clear, tangible business goals and KPIs. Put numbers in it, whether it's yearly, quarterly, whatever it is. Your sales and marketing team need to be on the same page when it comes to a very specific definition, all the criteria, all the variety of factors that go into your marketing qualified lead definition and into your sales qualified lead definition. And then what's most important is that when sales and marketing both agree and you understand what those specific goals are, you can then document even further. You dive down even further. You get into what are the engagement levels by source of contact. So why this is important, and you'll probably hear these trigger words a lot, like lead attribution and customer attribution, lead scoring. These are all things that your marketing automation software should do. And all of this is a strategy so that you're identifying your best leads You have a very clear process to get them from lead, MQL, SQL. And then you have the reports to back it up that this lead went from lead, MQL, SQL because of our definitions, because of the factors, and then we can report on it and make sure that that attribution actually made us money. We can show very clear marketing ROI in our marketing automation software. If we have that MQL definition, that SQL definition, we have clear business goals and numbers that we can track, but then we're also very clear about what are our lead sources today, and really about what the criteria is for the best customers, where are your best leads from, where are your best customers from. Again, this is unique to every company. Not every company is going to have the same definition or the same sources. And really what you want to look at is your best customers, the most profitable ones. Make sure you weed out the ones that you didn't like working with, the ones that fired you, or the ones that you no longer want to be working with. So just focus on your best customers here, and really you'll be able to get to the nut of the lead attribution, customer attribution that make you ROI. Then you can put all of the strategy towards those things. Okay, so this is, you can tell we are very visual learners here at Marketing Copilot. We have a lot of graphics. You're going to get this slide after. I'm not going to go too in depth to it, but what this is calling out here, and what we like to talk about a lot when we do talk about aligning sales and marketing, is that there is two different strategies. There's demand generation and there's lead generation. Understanding these strategies and also understanding where your marketing activities fall into these strategies is really important as you track the journey from MQL to SQL to closed won deals. So when it comes to demand generation, you'll see a lot of that is building trust. A lot of that is the MQLs versus lead generation is really going towards SQL. Again, everyone's definition is going to be different. And if I go to this next slide, you'll see the path can get convoluted and confusing very quickly. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You are going to get the slides after. You'll be able to read through it. But this is one visual that we like to use as people who are getting started with defining their MQLs and SQLs and defining their lead and customer attribution models, because this kind of keeps it generic enough that you can see sort of the lead in the blue, the MQL in the orange, and then over to SQL in the purple. And then you can kind of start plugging in your own unique identifiers here. If we go to really, I know I'm flying through these, I apologize. But again, if we set the stage for and get together and understand what your MQLs and your SQL definitions are, these are some additional factors before you go away and purchase your marketing automation tool. What I will say to this is that, where am I? These additional considerations are things that a good marketing automation reseller or seller is going to ask you in the sales process. So before you even get to a demo of the marketing automation product, these are things that, again, your sales and marketing team need to have alignment on. You need to understand who is going to be part of this buying decision, who is going to own this decision as far as the marketing automation tool goes. There should definitely be one core person. I like to call them a marketing person who owns the marketing automation software. But realistically, there's going to be lots of different hands in this pot. Likely sales is going to be in here from a tracking email perspective, or any automations moving from MQL to SQL if you require very, very convoluted or complex handoffs. So you need to consider who's going to be in your organization dealing with this. You need to consider your target market. A lot of marketing automation softwares allow you to include your buyer personas as custom fields or custom properties, or list segments, no matter how you do it, that are integrated with your CRM. So you can pull over your target market really easily. Understand who that is. Again, that goes back to the buyer personas. Ensure you have those people documented so that you can set up your marketing automation software in a very clean way that you can very easily identify who those people are. you want to take stock of your attributable marketing content. What we mean by that is there's typically, and we don't have the visual slide here today, but there is typically your awareness, consideration, and conversion content. Your consideration and your conversion content is where your MQLs and SQLs and your attributable factors come into play. So the great thing, again, about marketing automation and your marketing activities is that all of it's likely going to be rolled into that software, whether that's with forms that are going to live on your website, landing pages that you can do in your marketing automation software, or or whatever industry benchmarks you need to include. I did include this note here that typically the industry benchmarks right now is that there's about 8 to 12 digital interactions before a lead becomes an SQL. And so being able to track those in marketing automation is going to be very important, and being able to include all of those attributable marketing content in your marketing automation is going to be key to success. So again, I've also included here, consider what your top converting action is. You want to make sure that that top converting action is very clear, because that converting action is probably going to be that touch point and that handoff from MQL to SQL. And you want to make sure that that ties back to your marketing automation and can be tracked. And finally, really, you want to choose the tool that fits all of your business needs, that can be customized based off of everything that you already documented before going into this, and choose the tool that you can ask all of the right questions. You can come to the table with all of these details. And again, you want to make sure they're ones that can monitor results, they can track, they can integrate with some of your other tools and build reports. So if we continue on, we're going to get to really choosing the right tool here. Again, one thing we haven't talked about, but that's really important, is that CRM is not marketing automation. Companies lack sales and marketing alignment, don't understand why they need both. If you go through the first half of this as an exercise with your sales and marketing team, you'll realize very quickly that you need both. You need CRM and you need marketing automation software to sit in front of that CRM and integrate very nicely with it. The bottom line really is that B2B SMB companies, you need to adopt marketing automation. You cannot, in the age of digital marketing and in the age of AI, you cannot execute marketing and explain ROI to your team or your organization of marketing activities without the ability to track it, document it, and really come back with very clear points to your team and be like, this worked well. And I was able to track lead all the way to closed won revenue because of this marketing automation tool. It's really not just a technology. It is part of your sales strategy and very much part of your sales process, and really part of your overall business organization goals. And you have to have a plan before you adopt it. Whether you have a plan or all of these things implemented and documented, like I said, every company is unique and every company is different. So your needs are going to be different. I feel like I did just touch on this, but really the value of marketing automation, it really makes sure that your conversion strategy and your marketing strategy is working. Your online in the B2B online strategy, digital marketing is so important. Again, because of all of the way that the buyer journey has changed that we talked about earlier, you need to make sure that with marketing automation, you can ensure you don't leave money on the table. And again, it allows you to track leads by source, very important for lead attribution and customer attribution, AKA tying revenue back to leads, whether that's like a trade show or like we said, that high converting offer, whatever it is, you need to be able to track your money, your revenue back to that lead source, and then keep repeating that over and over again, and make more money. Really, it allows you to use your marketing and spend in a very much more impactful way. So these are not all the marketing automation tools that are in the market today. These are our favorite. They all do different things for different people, depending on where your marketing your marketing strategy is, whether you are in the infancy stages of just starting to do marketing, which is very true for a lot of B2B SMB businesses, is that they don't even have an internal marketing team. And if you're just getting started, there are tools like Constant Contact or MailChimp that will help you with that. It's a very easy email marketing platform. They have some very basic marketing automation workflows that you can do. There's, of course, everyone knows HubSpot. It's sort of your all-in-one tool that gets a little bit more complex, but it's very intuitive. It's obviously also a CRM, very much like Zoho, also a CRM that has marketing automation at its forefront. And then if you're one of the other bigger kind of Microsoft players, there are things like Customer Insights and Influence. Customer Insights, again, depending on what stage you're at in your marketing journey, whether you are a full-blown marketing team or not, Customer Insights is definitely a little bit more technical. And then there's Influence, which marketers love. It's intuitive. It's easy to use. So these are just a couple. I invite you to scan this QR code, and download our full battle card that we have created that kind of shows the strengths and what some of these ones are best for. Like I said, there's lots more. Do your research. These are some of our favorite. And then again, you'll get this at the end as well. But just as a quick recap, we talked about the buyer journey and how that's changed in 2025. We talked about everything that you need as far as the building blocks to build a successful marketing and sales funnel for your business. We talked about what the definitions you need and things you need to document as far as aligning sales and marketing. And then last, really choosing the marketing automation tool that's right for you. These are all things that we need to do in today's age. And if you need help doing them, definitely email me or Maddie. Happy to answer any questions. We've also created this guide. It's a full assessment. It kind of provides a checklist. It'll give you an idea as to where you're at in your marketing automation journey, whether you're ready for marketing automation or if you're ready to choose a tool. But really, I hope at the end of the session, I just hope that this kind of opened your eyes to everything that goes into planning for marketing automation. I know a lot of people think I'm doing some marketing activity online. I should probably go out and buy a marketing automation tool. I know sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. And this, I'm sure this huge checklist of things we just told you that you need to go away and do might be a little overwhelming. But really, implementing marketing automation is so important, but it's also, thank you, Terry. It's also key in today's world. It's not something that should be left behind. I know sometimes marketing is an afterthought, but really it's a key piece of your overall sales strategy. It's a key piece of your overall business organization strategy. Did I miss anything, Maddie?
I don't think so. I have a question for you, Susie.
Go.
So we talked about, making sure you have those definitions and that alignment between sales and marketing, but then we also talked about how a lot of companies don't have marketing people, that marketing is kind of an afterthought. So if there's anyone like that on the call today who they don't have a designated even marketing person on their team, who should that conversation be with then about defining, like leads and SQLs and all that?
Yeah. So if you are and I know very many SMB businesses, you wear many hats. So while your title might not be marketing and you may not have quote unquote marketing team internally, you could be a salesperson, you could be an IT person running tools, you could be whatever it is. The conversation internally should still be had. Like if you're a business development person, we see a lot of them coming in and trying to find and source marketing automation software. And really, it's about having the overall conversation. Is your business ready to handle something like that? Do you have someone internally who will be managing this? Because you don't want to waste money on a tool and then not use it. But then also, your VP, your partner, your president, whoever it is in that kind of executive decision-making stage, get aligned with them. Make sure that they are clear as to what an SQL versus an MQL versus a closed won deal is, customer. where are those stages? Because regardless, everyone's on LinkedIn nowadays. Everyone's got a company page. You're posting social media. You're sending out email newsletters. Whether you're in those infancy stages, there is a marketing automation tool out there that will be better for your business and will just make it more efficient for you.
Amazing. Thank you for
Well,
answering my question.
I could go on. I feel bad because I really truly feel like I could talk about this for days. We didn't even really touch on some of the AI power that marketing automation software has been adopting. We haven't touched on the like lead attribution models, things that you need to actually plan out beforehand. And that can get very convoluted. So really, like I said, thank you. We tried to keep it to 30 minutes. We went to 35. But I hope you enjoyed your lunch, 35 minutes with us. And like we said, please feel free to reach out. We'll be emailing this deck over so you can get, you can really zoom in on some of those tiny visuals that we like to use. And I hope you guys have a good Thursday.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you.